Well, the trial ended on Taylor Schabusiness today, but it's still got some more stuff to do tomorrow. Let's explain where we are for those of you catching up here. Taylor Schabusiness is a married 25-year-old white woman. She is a mother of a 2-year-old. And she took on a lover, and this lover she choked to death. They were doing this during sex, so that's not surprising, but she kept going with it. She told the detectives the choking took about 3 to 5 minutes. He started bleeding from the mouth. He was urinating himself during the death, and she said she liked it. She said she was sexually aroused by the whole thing. She then performed oral sex on his dead body. She used a dildo on his dead body. And you get the idea. This is just bizarre. What is interesting about this is I don't think we've seen this sort of thing. Usually, if you just hear this on the news, bodies being cut up, you think some white guy like a Dahmer type has done this. I mean, Chris Rock has a whole rant on the fact that, no black people are, cutting up things and eating people. This is a white male thing. However, I think this is the first female case that I've heard of this, especially a married 25-year-old mother of a 2-year-old. And, her husband, bless his heart, is still sticking by her even after all this. He has pledged his love and support for his now convicted wife. She was found guilty on all counts. I want to tell you, it was interesting, the debates that went on before this day of trial, because we had the forensic people talking about the phones, right? And all the data they found on the phone. Now, the defense wanted to keep out the satanic stuff. There's pentagram, there's satanic stuff. I don't think this is shocking, right? I mean, is anybody surprised by this? And there's some Jeffrey Dahmer stuff on her phone. Really? None of this should shock any of you. However, the judge said the satanic stuff, we'll go ahead and not let the jury see the satanic stuff. But we are going to let the jury see the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff. Well, anyway, 45 minutes of deliberation, and the jury found her guilty on all counts. What's interesting is this is kind of what we talked about. This was a slow plea all the way. The defense is just getting to tomorrow, what we call phase 2. Tomorrow is kind of what the defense said at the beginning, not guilty by reason of insanity. But there are constraints on the defense, and we heard that from the judge after the verdict today. The judge was like, look, defense, you're telling me you want to talk about Taylor's marijuana use when she was a kid and how that marijuana use might affect her decision making and what have you. But the judge wasn't buying some of it and said that particular expert that you want to call for that, I don't think I'm going to let that person, even though they have a doctor in front of their name and probably a lot of initials behind their name, nope, they don't get to tell the jury anything about that. You have other experts that actually might be qualified for that. Get your crap together, have them show up tomorrow morning for phase 2. Maybe I'll let them testify. Another side note here is just this issue of, is Taylor mentally ill or is she evil? And there's this balance between whether or not you get in front of that jury and you get to say, this person is mentally ill or this person is just downright evil. In this particular case, I tend to side with this woman is evil. I have, in my 29 plus years of defending cases, I have seen quite a few mentally ill folks. That usually comes up in the equation rather quickly. My personal opinion is this is not a mental illness thing. It's bizarre, but it is just evil. She's just a really, really bad person. We could add a lot of really, really, reallys on top of that. And I don't think this is a case where you get to say, well, let's put her in a mental hospital and let's give her some pills and some therapist and we'll make her better. No, I think there's no getting better here. Just my humble opinion. So tomorrow we will update you on phase 2 of this trial, and we'll see. I think we're going to see a better defense in phase 2 now that she's guilty than we saw in phase 1.